Hi, I'm Wyatt Giles with Concierge Title.
Troy Mannella with SecurityNational Mortgage.
We're going to talk today a little bit about this crazy market we're in. I mean, multiple offers left and right. Are you seeing that?
Absolutely. I mean, I am seeing people that are having to submit offers on 3-4 homes and still not getting accepted just because they're being outbid.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah,
So,
especially when we talk about a house.
for a house. So that's good, but they do need to prepare for it. So I know our business model helps them out, but what are y'all doing to help them get into those homes that they want?
Absolutely. A lot of people don't realize that when someone makes an offer, they've most of the time have spoken with the lender and they've had their credit looked at, the loan officers looked at their income, and we issue what's called a pre-qualification letter. That letter is still, unfortunately, it's only as good as the loan officer that looked at it.
Okay.
And so, you don't know if that loan officer's been in the business 6 months or 16 years. And so some pre-qualification letters are better than others. We go one step further, and what we do is we have the ability to underwrite the borrower on their credit and income and assets. So the only thing not known at this point is the house and title. And it's actually issued as a conditional pre-approval letter. So it is above and beyond a pre-qualification letter. When we do this, our borrowers win most all of their competitive bids.
Okay, so realtors are aware of this, or at least your realtors.
Yes, some are, some aren't.
Okay.
Every realtor believes they're getting what's called they always ask for a pre-approval letter, but it's been several years, and I don't know, at least 4 or 5 years since a loan officer has been able to write a pre-approval letter. It's now a pre-qualification letter.
Sure.
A pre-approval letter, by definition, means that it has been reviewed by an underwriter.
So the viewers then can either educate their realtor or talk to their mortgage company, or most certainly give you a call.
Absolutely. I mean, not a lot of mortgage companies do this just because it ties up resources. And in a busy time, the last thing you want to do is have an underwriter working on a file that isn't really a file yet.
Yeah.
But it's a service that we believe is very important, especially in this market.
Right.
Especially in this market,
It's
to give our borrowers just a little bit of a competitive edge out there.
And so, as far as calling in, they do need to call you to get pre-qual. Anything else that y'all are doing to help out with that process?
Well, one of the things is, technology. Our industry literally is 20 years behind in technology for the most part. We actually have stepped up and we have a mortgage app, and it's a full home app. Okay. So it's right on their phone. They can apply for a loan. They can upload documents. They can also calculate payments. So if you're online looking at a house and you see a house and it's at $250,000 and you're FHA approved, you can jump on the app. You can put in an FHA loan program, put the house, the estimated taxes and insurance. It'll tell you what your payment is right there that night, and you can decide, hey, payment's $1,900. I can make that. Let's go ahead and get with the realtor and make an offer.
What a fun time we live in. I mean, technology is important. It's making things easier for us. For instance, like we do e-closings together.
Absolutely.
And that's the process, if you don't know about, that you're able to schedule from the comfort of your home or from work. You can just close the door real quick and get to a closing. Just open up your computer and do a closing straight from there. Instead of having to rush to get over here, pick up this person, pick up your spouse, y'all can do it from separate areas as well.
Absolutely.
And so we've been doing that together, but y'all also have another type of e-closing that y'all are using.
Yeah, well, it's a blended closing.
Okay.
There's still a lot of information that a borrower, especially a first-time borrower, wants to know and wants to feel. When they're signing it, they want to feel comfortable with it, so they want to be in front of somebody. So what we do is, on the day of closing, we send out an email that gives them all of their documents that don't need to be notarized. So the letters of explanations and things like that.
So they can read through them ahead of time.
They can read through them and they can sign them, and then when they get to the title company, all they have is, things like the note and the deed, the very important documents.
Just to sign those.
Just to sign right there. So it takes an hour process, sometimes an hour and a half process, turns into a 10 or 15 minute process. And they're very comfortable because they've had a chance to read all the stuff that doesn't really mean a lot but is important.
Right.
But when they get to the meat and potatoes, they're sitting there with somebody, usually with me, or definitely with a licensed closer.
Sure.
Yeah.
We've moved to a business model now to where the client, the customer, and the real estate agent are very important. So we find it important to come close wherever you want us to.
That's one of the things I really like about you guys is that, especially at the end of the month, when a lot of transactions are happening all over the area, the traditional title company, you call them like, hey, this borrower's ready to close, we need to get a time tomorrow. And because they do everything in paper, everything at their office, they're like, we don't have a time. So, they have to wait till another day. Where you guys, you allow the blended closing and things like that, so they're less time, but you'll also send someone to their house.
house.
or send someone to their office,
The realtor's office,
yes,
sure. Yeah.
or wherever you send to where they're at. That's kind of part of the times,
And
change.
just to verify, sometimes also, I mean, closer might be busy, and you have a last minute closing. We'll send a notary, and we don't charge for it.
Yeah, I was about to say. And do you charge any other fees that aren't required?
Well, that's a really neat thing with our company as well, is we don't charge what's called an escrow fee. And so a lot of times we're state mandated. We have to charge what's called a premium. That's based off of the price of the home, and that is state mandated. So we have to charge that, and that's the only thing we charge. We don't charge anything else. Escrow fees, usually they're anywhere between $350 to $500 both sides.
I've seen some higher than that.
Some higher than that. And then FedEx, so they'll charge you to send docs back and forth. Yes, people are still mailing docs in the mail.
Okay.
You have surveys and things like that do need to be mailed, original copies. So those are FedExed. And then couriers, if they go send to get a pick up a check, seems real nice, but they're charging for that as well. So we don't charge for any of that. We'll come to you so that your borrower can keep back to work and have enough money to pay that loan.
Yeah, that's
right?
important.
And that's important, right? That's what keeps us all going. The realtor can get back and do what they're supposed to do. But also in these types of scenarios, we're also able to do a closing within 24 to 48 hours. Okay. So if it's a cash deal and you're trying to win over one of these multiple offers with cash, and that's going to be motivating to the seller, we can do that in a 24 to 48 hour turnaround time.
Yeah.
So.
So what do you think the total savings is on average by using you as compared to the more traditional?
Well, it could be up to or more than $1,000.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
And
as well.
so, I mean, yeah, it is cheaper in certain instances, right? On refis and things like that. But on your typical purchase, it can be up or over $1,000 in savings.
And you got to think, especially in today's market, where a large down payment is not really needed anymore, and most people just don't save money like they used to. $1,000 can be the difference of someone being able to qualify to purchase a home and not purchase a home.
Yeah, first-time home buyers love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've heard that on your instance, it can actually help a LO win a deal over.
Yes.
Because now you're not arguing over $200. You're about to save $1,000. Like, well, okay, we're gonna go with y'all.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, we talked last time a little bit about first-time home buyers. And you kind of stepped it up a little bit, so you're doing something new to kind of educate them. What are y'all doing?
Yes, so what we've done is we have created a first-time homebuyers happy hour that we'll be doing every single week. Come by, and we will teach people what it takes to buy a home, and especially for those people that think they can't get a home. If they're not ready, we will teach them how to be ready so that they can buy a home. Because make no mistake that the home is the single biggest way for a person to grow in wealth.
Fair enough.
You watch they advertise it, you hear it on the radio all the time, the move up, well, what they're doing is the money that they've appreciated in their home, they're taking that and they're buying a bigger house. And they're, typically they're keeping their payments around the same because they're using more money to put down from their previous house. You hear stocks and all this sort of stuff. Homes always appreciate. The homes are worth more now than they were worth than their value in 2009 when they were at their top. They're worth
especially
more
in the
now.
Austin market.
Yes, I mean, but it's pretty much everywhere.
Right,
so buying a home, especially for someone that's young in their late 20s, mid to late 20s, 5-6 years, they'll have money. It's not money realized until they sell the home, but it is money. They'll have money in their house that they couldn't have gotten anywhere else, and they're not having to save it. It's just happening naturally.
So tell them how they can come and learn a little bit more.
Well, they can go to the website, or they can text TV info to 31996.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.